Do me a favor, close your eyes for a second, or don't, but let's try a little experiment. What comes to your mind when I say computer speakers? Now, I'd be willing to bet one of 3 different sets of speakers comes into your mind, or something very close to them. It's either that one pair of Logitech speakers, you know the one that I'm talking about, right? Or maybe it's this pair of Logitech speakers. Or it's those Harman Kardon sound sticks. Remember those, the clear ones with the clear subwoofer? Or it's the Klipsch ProMedia system. Now, in the case of the former 2, they were popular because they were ubiquitous, Logitech, or striking, Harman Kardon sound sticks, or in the case of the Klipsch system, a little bit of both. They were just about everywhere and you could easily recognize them. Well, now there's an all-new version of the Klipsch ProMedia system, the Klipsch ProMedia Lumina. Last word there is a little bit of a hint. So let's check them out. Welcome back to Calibrated, everyone. I am Caleb Dennison, and we're setting up the new studio here that would include my desk setup. Stop judging me for my cable management. I haven't gotten to that part yet. To be honest with you, it's not exactly my strong suit. Never has been. I'll get to it. For now, though, I want to focus on the speakers. Now, as you see here, I have the SVS Prime Wireless Pro, and as you don't really see here, I also have one of SVS's more compact subwoofers that happen to match the Prime Wireless Pro perfectly, but it also doubles as a great home theater sub too. I can guarantee you they are among the best sounding speakers I've ever had on my desktop. I can also tell you that they are among the biggest speakers I've ever had on my desktop. Only the KEF LS50 wireless can challenge these in terms of size and footprint and bulk on top of my desktop. Also, I think they kind of blend in with the white desktop, but I'm ready for something a little bit different. So I was super excited when Klipsch sent me the new ProMedia system. I want to hear how they sound. I want to see how they look, especially with the new RGB twist they've integrated. And by the way, if I can save a little space and still have a subwoofer, I'm down with that too. So let's unbox them and then we'll come back here and hear how they sound. I mean, it's heavy. That's a good sign, right? That it's heavy. We'll go with that. So here's the thing. You probably won't be surprised to hear this, but I've always been really picky and I don't know, kind of precious about the desktop speakers that I've used when I've had like an office desk and stuff like that. Like I've used the KEF LS50 wireless as an on-desk setup, which was absolutely ridiculous, but also extremely awesome. I've used some edifier speakers. Those edifiers were really good. Back in the day, I think I used a Kanto, K-A-N-T-O. I think they're still available. I've used Audio Engine, basically powered bookshelf speakers is what I've always used in the past. Mostly because I couldn't find like a satellite subwoofer setup that I really cared for. And I'm actually hoping that this is gonna be the moment that kind of changes that for me. I'm sure that it's gonna be a solid performing system. As I said before, it always has. I'm just wondering if I'm gonna be able to change my ways. I'm sure looking forward to finding out though. And I'm really excited to see one of the most classic desktop or computer speakers get a change up. But part of the reason that I've been so uppity, I guess you would say, about my desktop or computer speaker setup is because, you know, of course I love listening to music, but from a content production and music production standpoint, well, let's be honest, there's a little bit of flex going on there. Like I'm a studio musician, you know, what, I'm gonna have crappy speakers on my desktop? No, but I always imagine, well, you know, when I'm recording video or I'm editing my own tracks, not just listening to others, I'll for sure need a really nice setup. Never quite turned out to be the case, but a guy can still dream, right? All right, so enough jibber jabber for now. Let's see what's actually in this box. So it looks like we're getting a USB-C to USB-C cable, modern, and it looks long, which is a great sign. Good start. And then your basic power cable, 2-prong power cable. I like that they packaged this so well. Looks like we're getting straight to the sub. It's got some weight to it. Yep. Ooh, interesting. It's got some interesting ports on the back. I want to look at that a little bit closer. You can see the driver peering out. We'll disrobe that one in just a moment. Satellite number 1, sitting on top of a box, but the stand's already on it. Excited about that. I'll tell you what, the new electronic smell is on point here. Let's go ahead and get this off. Oh, yeah, that looks like a really nice like vinyl wood grain exterior, and I'm betting, yeah, sure enough. So the cable on this is attached to the back of the speaker. It's not removable, it looks like. Nope, that is very much fixed there. I also noticed on the back of the subwoofer that it's got some interesting connectors on it. Almost looks like an RS-232 serial port. They're actually different. One's got more pins than the other, which I'm assuming is to enable controls. But I'll be honest with you, I did not look into this setup very deeply before I started unboxing it, and I'm starting to think, I mean, Zeke, does that say like RGB to you? Kind of looks like it might be throwing some cool effects against the wall. Yeah, okay, so sure enough, let's go ahead and get tight. You can see what kind of a connector we're looking at. We'll look at the back of the sub and you'll see that this matches up. Also color coded, which is helpful. There is a left speaker and a right speaker. That's super interesting. Hit me up in the comments section if you owned a previous version of the Klipsch ProMedia or the ProMedia Lumina. Oh, that's it, Lumina. It's in the name. I'm having a senior moment right now. Of course it lights up. It's the Lumina system. If you owned a previous Klipsch ProMedia system, not Pro Cinema, but ProMedia, let me know down in the comments. And did they also have these custom connectors and controls? But those look super cute and they're compact. That's a big, look, you only have so much real estate on your desk. What kind of sacrifice are you willing to make? I think that's the question here. If I can get great sound without giving up that much space, I'm gonna be very happy indeed. All right, now we're gonna get into the subwoofer. I'm just gonna tear into this guy. Let's get a better look at the driver. I haven't looked up the size of this, but I'm gonna say that's a 5 1/4 with a really thick surround, maybe a 6. Doesn't look like, I think it's a 5 1/4 or a 5 1/2 with a really thick surround on it. But yeah, that's robust. That's a good sign. Knock test, okay, we hear a little bit. That's not bad. There are other subwoofers I've recently experienced that were lighter than this. Think Planets, not Jupiter, but yeah, that subwoofer, which is part of a more expensive system. Granted, a wireless Atmos surround system was not nearly this substantial. So that bodes well. And again, it's got a really nice vinyl faux wood finish on the side, kind of a black ash with wood grain thing going on, and then an anthracite top, a little bit of a semi-gloss anthracite top on there, and really, really nice thick rubber pegs down at the bottom. So yeah, I am optimistic this is gonna sound good. And then you can actually see the ports for the 2 speakers are here. And it looks like it's got little guides, little clips for the speaker cables to go down here so that you can keep this nice and clean. What else is back here? Also, it looks like there is an aux port on here. I just don't see an aux cable, so you might need to supply your own aux cable. But it will take a USB-C, which means that it has a DAC built in. And that's kind of cool. Not just the amplification, but the DAC is already built in. Or you could be a nerd like me and use like a Dragonfly Cobalt DAC, which I recently washed in the washing machine and it still works, by the way. And then use an aux cable. You could do that if you wanted to, but probably the DAC built into this thing is perfectly sufficient. So, all right, that's the unboxing. I think it looks good. And I wanna see if it sounds good as well. It's a good looking system. This is a good start. Also, we're gonna get to play with that, the Lumina part of this, which I didn't see coming. Kind of excited about that as well. All right, so if I'm gonna say anything critical about it, I just have to say that sometimes the tweeters have a little ring on them. They're, yeah, like this Earth, Wind, and Fire cut, I'm definitely getting a little bit of ring off the extreme high frequencies, but this is the first time I've heard it out of like 7 songs that I've listened to. And that's smooth. Dedicated free desktop app or mobile app. Rainbow, breath, static, aurora, and screen reactive modes. How do you figure? So Klipsch Control app is available for PC and mobile, which, I mean, does PC also include Mac? I'm going to assume not. Desktop app advanced features. Only in the Windows app, users can select screen react or dynamic lighting, Windows 11 sync. Okay, so that makes sense. I'm not saying I love that, but you know, maybe not as fully featured for Mac users as Windows PC users. I go back and forth between both. The manual button, though, will cycle the modes by holding down the multifunction button on the speaker for 1 second. So that's going to hold, and then I can change the brightness. Let's hold it again. It looks like it's going to be... All right, well, there you go. And then I like that they provide a little USB-C charging port on the back of the left speaker to replace the one that you took up with the speakers themselves. Sounds good is right, Zeke. Great transition, thank you very much. I mean, yeah, it does sound good. It sounds great, as a matter of fact. I think the subwoofer is well integrated with the satellite speakers. I think in a near-field environment like this, they're going to suffice for like 90% of people. If you're a creator and you're doing mixes and whatnot, of course, you're going to need a proper professional monitor setup. That's not what this is supposed to replace. For most users who need a high quality audio experience or just need to hear quality audio on whatever they're working on, this is going to be fantastic. One of the best features is the slim subwoofer. You can orient it so that you've got plenty of space down near your feet. You never have to see the thing if you don't want to, but if you do see it, it looks great. You can orient it one of 2 different ways and get plenty of space down there. I doubt you're going to accidentally kick the thing because it's in the way, and that's really, really smart. The footprint of the speakers, obviously, I have enough room to have a lamp and the speaker up on the desk at the same time without having to put the lamp on top of the speaker. I think that's a big improvement. I enjoy the RGB. I don't have to have it. I could do without it. I could just turn that off. I wish that the RGB was a little bit more fully functioned for Mac users than Windows users. That would be a nice bonus, but it's fun to have that. Honestly, I'm probably turning it off and just using the RGB on the back of my monitor most of the time. Got the latest Alienware QD OLED, so you know, unless I can have them perfectly sync, I'm not gonna have it on in the speakers. But from the core functionality standpoint, how they sound and how well they work with your system, awesome, absolutely awesome. You know what though? I haven't checked out the price. Let's check that out really quick. Okay, so they cost about 380 bucks. I gotta say that's a little bit more than I was expecting, but you know what? They sound like they perform at that level. I will give them that. I would like to see them down at 300 bucks. That would be an absolute no-brainer steal of a deal. This is a premium computer audio situation though. The system sounds really good and it keeps the footprint small. It's hard to get both of those things at the same time, but Klipsch ProMedia did it. So I'm gonna give them 2 enthusiastic thumbs up. I wish that the price was a little bit lower. I wish that the RGB was controlled better by Mac, but otherwise I can't complain at all about this system. I will say one thing though, this is just the beginning for me. So this is the little extra bit for those of you who have stuck around and know me and know this channel well. This is the beginning of a journey that I am announcing right here, right now. I am starting here at the ProMedia system and I'm gonna work my way all the way up to the Klipsch Jubilee. If you're not familiar with the Klipsch Jubilee, Zeke is showing you B-roll of them right now. They are an absolutely massive speaker. They're the last design that Paul W. Klipsch came up with. They were realized by his partner in crime at Klipsch, who has made them a reality. They are absolutely stunning, as I've been told. I've never gotten to hear them in person, but I am committed to getting those speakers into this new studio. It's absolutely outrageous. It's a huge, lofty, audacious goal, but I'm 100% committed to it. So it starts with the ProMedia, and then we get to the Klipsch 5s and the 7s and the 9s, and then we bring the Klipsch Forte back in because I haven't gotten to listen to those since they first came out, but the Forte 4 is an amazing speaker, and we work our way up. I think that we check out the K-horns and the La Scala as well. And then finally, the end game, the big boss at the end is the Klipsch Jubilee. They are $40,000 a pair. I hope I don't have to spend that much, but I don't expect a handout. Klipsch isn't just gonna give them to me. There's no shot that happens. I'm gonna have to pay for them, but my hope is that in the years to come, and it's gonna take years to get there, by the time I finally get there in a few years, maybe I'm able to treat myself like that. Maybe we're celebrating 500,000 subscribers, or maybe even 1 million subscribers with the Klipsch Jubilee. The point is, Klipsch is an American institution, and we need to keep them around, and we need to keep them healthy. I like the products that they make. I love listening to them, and I love talking about them. So what better way to support them than by launching a series here on the channel where we take a look at almost every speaker product they make over the next several years. I think that's a fun little series that we can build into this channel. So I'm announcing that now. From the little Pro Media all the way up to the Jubilee, I'm gonna check them all out here on this channel with you guys, all the way up to that end game boss speaker, the Jubilee. I can't wait to do it. Anyway, for now, talking about $40,000 and I'm complaining about 380 bucks, I think we'll survive. That's my review, or at least my first look at the Klipsch ProMedia speaker system. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did down in the comments, like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, hype if you feel this is a hype-worthy video. I'll see you on the next one, and until then, take care of yourself. Why don't I just poke the mic with the box, Zeke? Sorry about that, dude. You can edit that out, right?